Breaking news! Next Thursday, the 28th, we will have a big challenge ahead of us, beating the Packers. In the last few hours, we received some not-so-good news, and it was confirmed by Coach Mike McDaniel. I am personally confident that we will win this challenge against the Packers. If you also believe in victory, press the like button, and if possible, write something like this: Go Dolphins! We will win! The Miami Dolphins face a significant challenge heading into their Thanksgiving matchup against the Green Bay Packers, as Coach Mike McDaniel confirmed on Monday that the team will likely be without linebacker Anthony Walker Jr. and cornerback Kendall Fuller. While both absences are major blows to Miami's defensive lineup, there's a silver lining: neither player is expected to miss an extended period of time. Still, the immediate impact on the team's ability to form a complete and cohesive defense cannot be underestimated. Anthony Walker Jr., a key leader on the Dolphins' defense, suffered a non-contact hamstring injury during Sunday's game against the New England Patriots. The play, which left Walker clutching his leg in visible pain, occurred without any opposing players making contact. While initial fears pointed to a potentially serious injury, McDaniel assured reporters that medical evaluations showed it was less serious than initially thought. However, Walker is still expected to miss Thursday's game, leaving Miami to rely on recent acquisition Tyrel Dodson. Dodson, claimed off waivers from the Seattle Seahawks just 2 weeks ago, was thrust into action following Walker's injury and delivered a promising performance. His interception late in the game against the Patriots proved pivotal, helping seal the Dolphins' Week 12 victory. Yet, the sudden reliance on Dodson raises concerns about Miami's depth at linebacker, particularly against the Packers' offense known for its creative play designs and dynamic running game. The situation becomes even more concerning when factoring in the absence of Kendall Fuller, who remains sidelined due to a concussion sustained in Week 10 against the Los Angeles Rams. This is Fuller's second concussion of the season, an alarming reality that raises questions not only about his availability but also about his long-term health. Fuller, 29, has been a cornerstone of the Dolphins' secondary, bringing veteran savvy and stability to a young and talented unit. Without Fuller, the Dolphins have had to rely on undrafted rookie Storm Duck, a player with undeniable potential but limited experience in high-pressure situations. While Duck has shown flashes of promise, the thought of him going up against Green Bay's talented receiving core is enough to make even the most optimistic Dolphins fan uneasy. Fuller's absence leaves a glaring hole in Miami's secondary, forcing McDaniel and defensive coordinator Vic Fangio to get creative with their coverage schemes. This double blow to the defense comes at a crucial point in the season. The Thanksgiving game against the Packers represents not only a high-profile matchup but also an opportunity for the Dolphins to solidify their playoff position. However, missing two key defensive starters could shift the balance in what promises to be a closely contested game. The Dolphins have already demonstrated resilience this season, overcoming injuries and adversity to maintain their standing as one of the AFC's top teams. But these latest setbacks will test the depth of the roster and the adaptability of the coaching staff. It's a reminder of how fragile success can be in the NFL, where injuries can alter the course of a season in an instant. For Walker, the hope is that his absence will be limited to just one game, with a swift return to his role as a defensive leader. Fuller's situation is more complex. With two concussions in the same season, the team and Fuller himself will need to weigh the risks carefully. The priority, as McDaniel emphasized, will always be the health and safety of the players, but that doesn't make the absence any less painful for a team with championship aspirations. Now the question becomes how Miami's defense will respond. Can Tyrel Dodson build on his encouraging performance against the Patriots and anchor the linebacker group? Will Storm Duck rise to the occasion and prove he's capable of holding his own against NFL-caliber competition? And can the Dolphins coaching staff scheme effectively to minimize the impact of these losses? As the Dolphins prepare for this critical game, the eyes of the NFL will be on how they handle this adversity. For now, we ask you, the fans, how confident are you in the Dolphins' ability to overcome these injuries? Do you think Dodson and Duck are up to the task, or are you worried about how these absences might expose vulnerabilities? Share your thoughts below as we brace for a Thanksgiving matchup with the stakes higher than ever. Now let's break down some key takeaways from the Patriots game. Defensively, one of the early highlights came from Zach Sealer, who pulled off a classic swimming move to break through the Patriots' offensive line and block a running play for a 6-yard loss. The quickness and technique on display were phenomenal, and it's no wonder Sealer remains a cornerstone of Miami's defensive unit. Brooks and others came together to clean up, showing how the defensive line has developed chemistry to dominate in critical moments. Chop Robinson was another defensive star who drew significant attention. The Patriots were clearly aware of his impact, often deploying double teams to try to slow him down. Despite their efforts, Robinson's explosiveness and ability to dive under blocks to get to the quarterback stood out. On one sack, he evaded multiple blockers with a shoulder dip that was reminiscent of drills at the NFL Combine. His quickness off the line has become a problem for opponents, and his progress is something Dolphins fans should be excited about. The offensive side of the ball also delivered. Tua Tagovailoa's decision-making continues to evolve, and Mike McDaniel's play designs remain a masterclass in execution. One standout moment involved a play-action pass where motion from Devon Achane shifted the Patriots linebackers just enough to create a window for Jalen Waddle to exploit. Tua delivered the ball with precision, demonstrating how motion in McDaniel's system creates mismatches and opportunities. Of course, no game is without its missed opportunities. One play that stood out was an incomplete pass to Achane that had the potential to go for a touchdown. The throw was slightly off, forcing Achane to adjust and allowing the defender to break up the pass. It's a reminder that even in a dominant performance, there's room to fine-tune execution. Raheem Mostert, though not as heavily utilized, reminded everyone of his value. On a play that could have resulted in a loss of yardage, Mostert made a defender miss in the backfield, turning a negative into no gain. Plays like this showcase his elusiveness and why he remains a reliable option in the backfield despite the rise of younger players. Achane found the end zone twice, including on a beautifully executed screen pass. The play demonstrated the speed and creativity of this Dolphins offense, with blockers creating a convoy that allowed Achane to capitalize on open space. While some blocks could have been sharper, the result speaks for itself. Miami's ability to deploy multiple speed threats on the field at once continues to overwhelm defenses. Another fascinating moment came on a deep throw to Waddle. Initially, it appeared questionable whether the ball was caught cleanly, but upon review, the catch was upheld. What stood out more was Tua's progression on the play. His first read wasn't open, and he calmly scanned the field before finding Waddle in a one-on-one matchup. It's a sign of Tua's growth as a quarterback, as he becomes increasingly adept at working through his reads under pressure. Defensively, one sequence highlighted Miami's relentless pass rush. On a shared sack between Robinson and Emmanuel Ogbah, Robinson overpowered a double team, while Ogbah cleaned up. The effort demonstrated Miami's ability to disrupt opposing offenses consistently. However, not everything was perfect. A sack on Tua highlighted a breakdown in protection by Robert Jones, where the missed block forced Tua to take the hit rather than risk an ill-advised throw. Such moments underline areas for improvement as the team gears up for tougher challenges. Perhaps most encouraging was the way Tua Tagovailoa commanded the offense. His poise in the pocket, ability to extend plays when necessary, and willingness to take what the defense gave him all point to his continued development as a franchise quarterback. While he still has areas to improve, such as his ball placement on certain throws, there's no denying that Tua has become the engine driving this Dolphins team. As we look ahead, the question becomes whether the Dolphins can sustain this level of play against tougher competition. The AFC remains a gauntlet, and with matchups against elite teams looming, Miami will need to build on the positives from this game while addressing the areas that still need work. Stay tuned for more analysis as we dive deeper into Miami's offensive and defensive strategies. But for now, let us know what you think about the Dolphins' performance. Which plays or players stood out the most to you?